Roronoa Zoro, also known as Pirate Hunter Zoro, is the combatant of the Straw Hat Pirates, one of their 2 swordsmen, and one of the 9 senior officers of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Formerly a bounty hunter, he is the 2nd member of Luffy's crew and the first to join it, doing so in the Romance Dawn arc. As a master of 3 sword style, a swordsmanship style which he created during his childhood training in Shimotsuki village, Zoro is among the 3 most powerful combatants of the Straw Hats, alongside Luffy and Sanji. His dream is to become the greatest swordsman in the world in order to honor a promise he made to his deceased childhood friend Kuina. In addition to his infamy as one of the Straw Hats and as a former bounty hunter, Zoro is also regarded as one of 12 pirates who are referred to as the worst generation. He first gained a bounty of 60 million after the incident at Alabasta, it later increased to 120 million after the Enies Lobby incident, and then 320 million after the Dressrosa arc. Currently, as a result of his actions during the raid on Onigashima, his bounty is increased to 1,111 million. Zoro is a muscular man of average height with lightly tanned skin. He always carries his 3 swords along with him, bundled up with a green haramaki over his right hip, allowing him to easily draw them with his left hand. Of the 3 swords he has on his person, he has always been seen carrying the Wado Ichimonji, while his other 2 swords have varied over time due to them being destroyed and subsequently replaced with progressively better ones. Although his right hand is usually seen resting over them, he can also use this hand to pull his swords out before sitting down. He has 3 identical gold earrings on his left earlobe. Zoro normally keeps a black bandana tied around his left bicep and ties it around his head when he is fighting seriously against an opponent. Zoro's body is covered with scars from his many battles, most notably the massive scar stretching from his left shoulder to his right hip that he acquired during his loss against the world's greatest swordsman, Dracul Mig, at Barati. His other visible scars are the scars he inflicted upon his ankles in a desperate attempt to free himself from Mr. Three's giant candle service set by trying to cut his feet off at Little Garden. After the time skip, he gained another scar over his left eye, obtained through unknown means. Zoro's other remarkable feature is his cropped green hair, which Sanji often teases him about by calling him Marimo, Moss Ball, Moss Head in the Viz manga and Funimation dub, due to its resemblance to one. Similar to most of his male crewmates, Zoro has the same outfit throughout most of the series. Before the time skip, he would consistently wear black trousers tucked inside black boots, a plain white shirt with 3 undone buttons at the collar, and his green haramaki. However, only Zoro's shirt varies from time to time in the arcs. During the Arlong Park arc, he disembarked Sanji's fishing ship, neglecting to put on a shirt. After beating up most of Arlong's crew, he wore an open navy blue shirt decorated with light blue whirlpools that he stole from one of the fishmen. Since Zoro received his scar from Mihik during the Barati arc before the Arlong Park arc, Zoro wore bandages that were visible underneath his shirt. During the Logetown arc, Zoro acquires Sandai Katetsu and Yubashiri to replace the 2 conventional katana, which were broken by Mihik in the Barati arc. During the Drum Island arc, Zoro was bundled up for the Winter Island, but later stripped down after a foolish choice to swim in the frigid water on the island. He remained shirtless and shoeless in the beginning of the arc, after getting lost from the Going Merry and left unable to redress himself, until he stole a parka from a man in Wapple's army, which was a hooded forest green parka with a light green sash and white fur on the cuffs, hood, and hem, as well as a pair of boots. During the Arabasta arc, he wore an orange keffiyeh with a gold chain on his head, a long-sleeved white coat with black lines all over it, and the bottom of his black trousers were torn above his ankles. During the Skypiea arc, he wore his usual outfit in the beginning of the arc until he took it off after fighting a sky shark to save Tony Chopper from being eaten. Afterwards, he wore a long, deep blue t-shirt and goggles strapped either on his head or around his neck, which were later broken and discarded. During the Water 7 arc, he wore his usual outfit until near the end, where he wore an unzipped bright yellow jacket with a closed pocket flap on each side. He continued wearing this outfit throughout the Enies Lobby arc. During the post-Enies Lobby arc, he wore a black shirt with the Galila Company emblem on it in white. At the end of the Thriller Bark arc, he wore an opened gray shirt. He also replaced Yubashiri, which was rusted away by Shu in the Enies Lobby arc, with Shusui, which was entrusted to him by the zombie of Ryuma, brought to life by Brook's shadow. During the Sabati Archipelago arc, he wore an open white shirt with red stripes. During his time at Kurigana Island, shortly after being sent there by Bartholomew Kuma, he wore an open dark blue shirt. Since Zoro was critically injured when he arrived at the island, Perona patched him up, so bandages were all over his body. During and after the 2-year time skip, Zoro gains a new scar running down over his left eye, which is now implied to be critically injured, as it is always closed. His frame gets larger, showing considerably more muscle mass, and his hair has gotten shaggier, while slicked back. Zoro now wears a long, open dark green coat closed on his waist that's held by a red sash, into which his 3 swords are tucked. His black bandana is tied around his left forearm. His coat exposes his bare chest, revealing his green haramaki underneath the coat. He has also grown noticeably taller, as he is similar in height to Robin. During the Punk Hazard arc, he wore a white furry coat for protection against the cold weather on the frozen side of Punk Hazard, which he took from Brownbeard's Centaur Patrol unit. During the Dressrosa arc, he wore a black suit and a white dress shirt with the top button undone. He also wore black sunglasses and a fake white mustache as a disguise. His sunglasses were destroyed in his clash with Admiral Fujitora. Additionally, he discarded the mustache upon his identity being exposed. After the battle against the Donquixote pirates, Zoro took off his suit jacket and unbuttoned his shirt, leaving his chest and scar exposed. During the Zoo arc, Zoro wore a dark blue t-shirt with his green coat and haramaki over a pair of long, black trousers and boots. During the Wano Country arc, Zoro wore a white yukata with black details and a green cloud pattern on its bottom. He wore a dark green Jitoku Haori with a mon of a black sun over a khaki gear and Zmrai with a black strap. Zoro also styled his hair in the Chanmage style. After agreeing to allow Shusui to return to Ryuma's grave and remain in Wano, Zoro was given the legendary blade Enma in exchange, which was entrusted to him by Kazuki Hiyori, the daughter of the sword's original owner, the legendary samurai, Kazuki Oden. During the raid on Onigashima, Zoro donned a black version of his normal coat and a new bright red sash. He also briefly wore a Beast's Pirates uniform created by Kinemon before he and Luffy were discovered by the enemy pirates.